10-foot coconut leaf. We'll go into that later as well. Okay, so what we have here in this bin, this is coconut husk and blue rock gravel, which is local crushed, what we call blue rock. It has a lot of minerals in it. It also has phosphorus and potassium and other things that are locked into it. We mix a ratio of 3 to 1. This is a little too much coconut for rock right here. So what happened is when I was gone, some people mixed these baskets up right here. And we're going to use this as an example because this is too moist. What you see in the center here is a worm casting ball with seeds in it. And because it stayed too moist, the seeds did not sprout in it. They got root rot on them. So if we take this out, see how wet that is? What we need to have here is more of a ratio like this right here. Mostly rock with a little tiny bit of coconut husk in it. And then what we do is on top of there, we sit a ball of worm castings with seeds inside of it. We sit it in here. Then we set the water level to just the very bottom of it, up in here. The water comes by the bottom of the basket as it flows through here, and the plant will suck the moisture up. So what we're going to do to set one up, this is one that's also too wet right here. What we're going to do is we're going to ad-lib this. We're going to take this one off the top, where you can see its roots coming through the bottom here, but it has a little too much material on the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this material away, and we're going to put this on the rock base. Let some of that wash into it. And then we're going to sit that back up in our basket right there. Our basket, basically, this is the tank with the fish. We have a pump in here. We're pumping water out of our basket into the pipe up there, which is pumping water through these in a tube to this side. Gravity is taking it back down. It's falling out of the end. This tank here with the water plants in it, this is what we call our biomass. These plants are filtering the nitrates out of it, as well as the plants that we're growing, and we're putting clean water back into the tank for our fish. So that's the very basics of what aquaponics is. We're using aerobic bacteria, oxygen, and we're using the fish, their nitrates when they use the bathroom, to basically give nitrogen to the plants. Real simple circle right here. So it pumps out of here into the plants, falls from the plants into the biomass tank, falls from the biomass tank back into the fish tank. Really simple circle. We can stop there for a second.
Okay.
One of the easiest things to grow out of aquaponic systems are plants that don't take a lot of phosphorus and potassium necessarily. Because the fish water does not carry a lot of phosphorus and potassium, it carries mostly nitrogen in the form of nitrates. Things like lettuce and things that have only green growth will grow really easily in it. If you want to grow things like tomatoes and eggplants, you need to have a source of potassium and phosphorus. So that's where our worm castings come in our worms. They supply the phosphorus and the potassium in our system here. We also take what's called rock dust. When you take blue rock like this and you grind it up into powder, it has phosphorus in it already. So that's an available and what's called an inert ingredient. It's not really going to affect anything in the tank. It's going to pass through the fish just like it does in a stream. But the earthworm castings are going to make that actually available to the plant. So that's how we can start growing tomatoes and eggplants and different things in them. But in the beginning, we're going to stick to really basic stuff like lettuce and wambach and things that are just nitrogen growing so that we can see all the nitrogen that we get out of this tank into the system here. The worm castings are going to be a lot of the phosphorus and the potassium. I guess we got to go from there. Let's stop again.